Okay, in this video, we're going to read this problem and we're going to answer exactly the same questions that you have in your assignment. Suppose that the water level of river is 34 feet and that is receding at a rate of 0.5 foot per day. Write the equation for the water level L after D days. In how many days will the water level be 26 feet? Okay, so first of all, let's find out who is the initial amount and who is the rate. Now, they're telling you that the water level is already 34. So that means that's your initial level. That's your initial amount. And that's what I'm going to write in my initial box. So here I go. This is 34. Okay. And now I'm going to look for the rate of change. So if this 34 is the initial amount, then I have this other amount that says per day. So that means that is constantly happening per day. Now, is it gonna be adding to 34 or taking from 34? Well, the keyword here says receding. And receding means minus because it means decreasing. The river level will be decreasing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that the river is decreasing by 0.5, right? Now, we're going to interpret the domain and the range. Notice here that the number that is my rate of change is sitting next to the domain x. Remember, the domain is x and the range is y. Okay, so the domain is always, when I found who is the rate of change, next to it, somewhere close to that number, 0.5 will be also what the domain represents. And in this case, it represents, so D represents, as you can see, the number of days. So the number, right, of days. That will be my answer. Now the range, wait. The range represents, if that is D is the dates, then the water, the level of water will be the range, okay? The output, the result. As the days pass by, the river, the level of water, that's a story about the level of the river will be this receding. So that will be the water level. And it says here, look, I want you to understand that they give you everything. It says, write the equation for the water level L after D days. And we already know that the days will be the domain. So the water level L will be the range. Now, let's write the function notation. Remember, if they don't give you the letters, you use f of x. You're going to use f of x. But in this case, they do give you the letter. So D is the domain and D goes inside. So X, it will be the D. X will be the D and the L will be the F. So this is L of D equals to, my rate is negative 0.5 D because that's per day. And the initial value, that is positive because the river already has 34 feet, okay, of water. Now, the next question says, in how many days will the water level be 26? What they're giving you is the total amount of water in the river. And they want you to look for the days. So practically, this is what you see in function notation. You are going to look for the days, and the days is the X. In this case, it will be D. Remember, you are working with L of T equals to 0.5 D plus 34. So since they're giving you D, because that's the D inside, and since they're giving you the total and you're supposed to look for D, what we're gonna do, we're gonna substitute the total. This right here, and I want everybody to understand, that is the total. So this part here, I'm going to substitute it for 26. That will be 26. That turns into 26 equals to 0, negative, by the way. This is negative. Let me fix here. So this is negative 0.5 D plus 34, okay? And now I'm going to do opposite and divide. So if you're confused who's your opposite, what do? We bubble the one that we're solving for, and we're solving for this guy. And the opposite always sits next to in that side. We're on the right, so that will be the opposite minus 34. You do it on both sides. That cancels out. 26 minus 34, that's negative 8, equals to negative 0.5 days, okay, per days. Now I want to know how many days would it be. So I have to get the letter by itself to know what will be that number. And you divide by negative 0.5, that turns into a 16. That turns into a 16 equals D. So remember, D is the days, and that means that a total of 16 days. And this will take a total of 16 days. That will be my answer for that questioning. How many days? In 16 days. So after 16 days, the water level will be 26 feet.